curtain, glass curtain wall. Like if you want to like look at what glass can do structurally, glass curtain walls is what you need to type into Google. Well, let me just make sure. If I could type in glass curtain wall into Google, and you go to Google Images, so usually it's just a wall of glass with like a little bit of framing in between them, right? I'm doing that, except it's horizontal, which is probably a disaster. Oh yeah, no, spider glass. Spider glass? Spider glass, except it's spider glass on both sides. It's spider. Yeah, spider glass. Can I show this on screen? Probably not. What happens if I... Yeah, no, the... Anyway, type in spider glass curtain wall. Oh no, you can do it. It's just that, you know, in other people's designs, you don't have an... like, you have a layer of, like, the steel framing holding the layer of glass, and that's it for most people. What I'm doing is going to have a layer of framing and glass, and then another layer of framing, and then like lights on either side. So it's not that crazy. It's only a little bit crazy. Like we're pushing boundaries, but only a little bit. We are expanding the boundaries of architecture, but only a little bit. It's not like I'm trying to... No, there's no justifying it. There's no explaining it. It's pretty crazy. Alright, so that's there. I wonder if like 2 is enough though, or do I want to make this taller? Do I want to like... No, it's probably a... No, let's have the weather barrier closer in, and then however tall I want to make the glow sticks above, I can just make it bigger above. I should also pick like good glass colors. How many colors of glass? 1, 2, 3. So I want like the deep purple. That's... oh, this is terracotta. Alright, let's put away the terracotta. I want the purple. Purple. Orange and yellow. And green. This will make sense later on when I do it. I'm not going to explain it now because it's gonna be hard to describe with words. But the ceiling is gonna be, I think, only one layer of glass, but it's gonna be a color pattern in the layer. And the bottom layer here, I think I want to invert this. Because you'll notice the end rods, they have a little thing at the bottom and a little thing at the top. Well, maybe no. Maybe I add a layer. I actually have doubts about whether I feel like where this meets the ground is a little bit too thin. There's not enough support on the very edge of this for it to be plausible. And I guess I can put in like a wall at the bottom. Maybe I don't want to though. Let me think about that. We won't actually see what it looks like until I'm further along, so that's not something we need to worry about right now. Alright, and then I need to add I need to make these two to add a layer to all of this. Let me start here. Oh jeez, it's gonna take so long. Who thought this was a good idea? I did. Alright, and then Oh, don't go up yet. One thing at a time. I mean, the question is, do I need a solid mesh of iron bars? Or do I want like a looser mesh of iron bars? And like, what pattern should I put the iron bars in? Just a rectangular grid? I want to avoid rectangular grid. Even though, you know, everything in Minecraft is on the rectangular grid. If the iron bars are too dense, it would spoil the effect of this immaterial architecture, right? It would spoil the, like, it can't look solid. It has to be like actually solid enough to stand up, but it can't look solid. Oh god. Ah, don't go up. I don't want to go up because I need to like fly up and down if I go up and down. No, don't do that. You know, I'm glad I'm only annoying myself. Maybe this is why I'm not a real architect, right? Imagine if I'm a real architect, and instead of building stuff myself, what I do is I draw ridiculous things like this, and then I tell other people to build it, because that's what architects do, they just do the drawings. And then like they have other engineers and construction people actually build the thing. Just imagine how much I will annoy the builders and the engineers if I were a real architect. Now you have hundreds of fluorescent tubes, right? And you need to like stack them vertically. and they're not on a pattern. Well, they are on a pattern, but they're not on a simple pattern. So you have to learn this complicated mathematical pattern. And then you have to balance all these tiny little fluorescent tubes on top of each other in that particular mathematical pattern. Well, at least here I'm only doing that to myself. I'm not torturing anyone else with this ridiculousness. And then you have this steel mesh, not steel mesh, the steel frame, right? And the steel frame, but the steel frame is not in a rectangular pattern. It's in a intersecting triangular pattern, which you also have to memorize the numbers for. And then you have to fit the glass pieces into this frame. But you'll notice that because the pattern is not rectangular and because the ceiling is curved, every piece of glass is a different shape. So you have to individually label each piece of glass, cut each one individually to the right shape, to the right, like, and none of them are right angles. None of the angles are 90 degrees. And then you have to fit each unique piece of glass into this frame that is not a rectangle. Right? And then you attach the fluorescent tubes to the frame. I mean, they wouldn't complain, they'll just ask for a lot of money. They'll just say, alright, I'll do that. But you need to like pay me 5 times my normal rate. That's what they'll say. You can get builders to do anything if you pay them enough. The question is how much money you have to pay. It brings to mind the Sagrada Familia in Barcelona. Sagrada Familia. I might have spelled that wrong. Maybe it's Sagrada? Anyway, it's the famous church. You'll know it when you see it. A whole lot of non-rectangular shapes. A whole lot of non-rectangular shapes that was so complicated that it would have taken like maybe like 500 years to finish. But eventually people invented computers, and so then they reduced it to only like 100 and something years to finish. I mean, that's not really the story, but it might as well have been. That might as well have been the story of Sagrada Familia. Like, the thing was so big and so complicated, it would have literally taken multiple hundreds of years to finish. And again, like, it's not like you can't do it. The question is, do you have enough money to pay people to work? To do that much work, right? Part of the reason it was going to take so many years is because they didn't actually, like, the church didn't have that much money. So they had to like raise money as they were building it. And so like, it wasn't that it took that long to build, it took that long to raise the money to build it. Like, they would raise some money and they'll build a bit and then they run out of money and then they'll like stop and then they'll like raise more money and then they'll build a bit more. So that's that's why the church took so long to build. Not really because the architecture would have taken that long, but because they didn't have enough money to hire enough people to finish it quickly. Ah yes, architecture. I mean, you will notice how slow this is for me. Like placing these things one at a time in this weird wavy diagonal pattern. Like even in a game like this, and I'm flying too. Flying, I'm just pulling these things out of my inventory. And even then it's like taking me hours to just place these things one at a time in this weird ass pattern.